Magic ball from Bergkamp to Patrick Vieira!
Oh, would you believe it? Oh, right, what a way to get it!
Fabulous solo goal by Thierry Henry. Champions.
Good afternoon. Welcome to a lunchtime edition of the Arsenal Lounge. I'm the hatless Lev today because it's so hot. Summer's out. Hats off. That's the way it rolls with me. On the opposite side, I've got the man with the hair and the flair, Shaheen. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. You? How's things?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm good. I just love the sun, bro. I love the sun. So when the sun's out, I'm happy. I'm positive and all that shenanigans. So yeah, I'm good. What about you?
Yeah, man, I'm good. Just very, very busy day. Very, very busy day. I must admit, I totally forgot until about 30 seconds ago that we.
I wasn't gonna mention it, but now you mentioned it.
Oh,
Shaheen wanted to do a show, yeah, and then forgot we were doing a show and left me sitting here on my ones for the last 10-15 minutes, and he's only just got himself ready. But anyway, we're here. Hello to everyone in the chats. Hi to Johan, Sean, Maximus, Abdul, Swala. There's a few of you in here. Just it's Friday, says Abdul. Yeah, it's Friday, and it's crying out there. Once I finish this and finish a bit more work, I'm going to carry on topping up my tan. But anyway, unlike the previous show, which obviously I was a little bit miffed with regards to Bissouma because I've been wanting him for the last 2 years or so, I still feel we do need cover for Partey. However, let's go positive today because I've asked my club for some ambition, for some assertiveness, and to start moving on things with a clear-cut plan. And it's looking like we are doing it. So look, let's crack on with this, Shaheen. So firstly, the one that we were going to discuss, Fabio. A lot of them are calling Vieira. Don't know if it is Vieira. It's spelled slightly differently, but we've got Fabio Vieira from Porto. It's seemingly coming in, 22 years old. Looks like he's an attacking midfielder, very much in the ilk of Bernardo Silva, I've been told by many. Some are touting him to be the next big thing from Porto. I'm not going to lie, like some and suddenly who've come out of the woodwork claiming to be experts about Fabio Vieira, but I've heard by all accounts some very, very positive things about him. And we do need some creativity, somebody who can make a difference against the low block and break teams down with vision and some skill. That looks like the type of player we have. Shaheen, what are your thoughts on this? I know that you, by the way, and you guys in the chat, Shaheen put out a tweet yesterday on the Arsenal Lounge Twitter page, which did get some reactions, both positive and some negative. So, Shaheen, your thoughts on Fabio Vieira, because apparently you're an expert, isn't it?
No. Let me just find it through. Just give me 1 second.
Oh shit! I've lost my hat. Apparently, according to Gunnar Mo, I don't know where I put it.
So basically, this is what I put out. I said, I admit I don't know much about this guy, but we thought 35 million euros is good, but not 25 million for established Premier League in Bissouma. I fear another Conte Xhaka moment here. Before you say they're different players, we needed both. It's just strange to me. And this does not mean that I'm negative. I'm saying the play is shit. I'm not saying any of these things. If you notice, I started the tweet with, I don't know much about the guy. So I can't really comment on somebody that I don't know. And I'll bet you every single one of the people who comment on that tweet, if you go back 2-3 days ago, they did not have a single idea who Fabio Vieira is. All of a sudden, everybody now is an expert in Portuguese football. Everybody knows about this player. You know, everyone knows his number of starts, his goals, his assists. All it takes is 2 minutes for you to go online and find all of these things. So that's one thing that I took from that. The other one is I would have liked to see somebody who would come in and make contributions straight away. You know, this does not mean I think this guy is not good or anything. An established Premier League player would have come in. There's no settling period. There is no moving your family around. There's no language. You know the league. You know everything. You can contribute straight away. I would have been more happy if it was Tielemans. And I still think we should have gone for Bissouma. And everybody is putting, oh, you're happy with a rapist to come to the club and all that. First of all, these are all alleged, um, crimes that he allegedly is committed. And in this country, you're innocent until proven guilty. And again, I'll go back to what I said a while back. It's, Tottenham would not have put that outlay on a player without doing their research and their homework on it. I just think we missed the boat here on Basuma. And I see people in the chat saying Basuma is not all that, is not this, is that. Basuma would walk into our midfield, no problem.
Yeah, but to me, they're two different types of players, man.
Hold on. I think you've forgotten the last 5-6 games of last season, especially when Thomas Partey got injured. Everybody was crying out, "Oh, look, we only have Mohamed El Neni." Yeah, granted, he did well, but
listen, right? Look,
as you said before, we're one injury away from a disaster in midfield.
Well, look, I'm going to try and keep this positive today. Look, people comparing the likes of Fabio Vieira to Basuma or Tielemans to Basuma. Sorry, they're two different types of players. I think we need both, 100%. Tielemans is a quality addition. I do rate Tielemans. Let's not get it twisted here. I do like him a lot. I just simply don't like the idea of going back to a pivot of El Neni or Xhaka if Partey gets injured, because that's what would happen. But look, let's keep it about current news, because Basuma's ship has sailed. It's done. It's dusted. Let's leave it. So look, from what I've seen,
before you go forward, Lev,
why won't you let me sail forward, Shaheen?
I'm very sorry, man. I just see this is typical of social media and Twitter and like people who comment.
He doesn't.
Shaheen thinks Basuma and Fabio are similar because of the second name Vieira. I'm so tempted to even block this guy. Like, if you've taken this from everything that I've said, you should not even be watching us. You should go watch something else, man. And it's people, they think something and then they come and write some rubbish comment like that. Anyway, carry on though.
Well, anyway, bro, from a positive perspective, yeah, we have signed an attacking midfielder who helped Porto win the league last season, right? Granted, I know a lot of people say it's only the Portuguese league and all this stuff, but quality is quality. He is a quality individual, and someone has said that in the chat. However, it doesn't necessarily mean that will translate across to the Premier League. So we'll have to, the jury's out on it. However, he does look like the right type of fit for that sort of player that we need. We do need creativity in midfield. They were looking at Hwasimoa before that, who sort of tailed off a little bit. As I said, he scored, I think it was 6 goals last season, 14 assists. And he is touted to be the next big thing. So maybe, just maybe, Arsenal doing what we've asked them to do, Shaheen. We can't slate them on one side. We can't slate them on one side. Wait, we can't slate them on one side and then turn around when they start doing things, start slating them on the other side. Because the truth is, none of us know anything about him. However, they will clearly have done their due diligence on him. And at the end of the day, we do need to be going for these players that have the potential to become world class, because we are unable to compete with those above us at the moment, getting those types of players. So I'm happy that we're seeing this.
I'm not knocking the club here, right? And I'm not saying, "Oh, this guy is shit. This guy is this." I'm not saying this at all. I don't know nothing about this guy. I'm going to hold on to give an opinion until he comes in and I see him, 4 or 5 games, see what he's like, what he's. There's straight away when I look at him, I think potentially maybe from physical point of view, he looks a little bit tiny and skinny. In the Premier League, you need to have that strength. Maybe he's got that strength. I don't know. But as I said, I'm going to hold on, give it judgment on him until I see him play. What I'm saying is my preference would have been to sign somebody from Premier League, right? And, people are saying, "Oh, Basuma, this is..." I know they're two different players. I know they're all of this. But I still would have preferred Basuma, because I think Basuma probably cheaper than this guy. But again,
2 different players, though, bro. You can't have.
I understand that.
You can't have one without the other.
Another thing, I understand. Another thing is, I look at the signing, right, and I'm thinking, and I know you got your opinion on this, right? I'm just a little puzzled as if we sign Tielemans as well. How this guy is? I think is very similar to Odegaard.
No, I don't think he is. No.
You don't think he is?
No, you would have Partey. Yeah, but he's more of a type of player that I think he's got a little bit more in the locker in regards to beating a man. And at the same time,
where you got all of these things about him from? Is that from last night or today?
bro, like at the end of the day, you've got to do your research. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to
That's
sit
what I'm
here.
saying. So,
Yeah,
so this is
I've
what
looked
everybody
into
would have
him.
looked at as well.
This is what
Clips and this and
everyone.
that.
This is what everyone would have done. Now, look, I've played football at a decent level. I was semi-pro. I do know a footballer when I see one. At the end of the day, he has immense ability, a change of direction, very low center of gravity, so he could twist and turn. And he could also spot passes very early in comparison to a lot of other players. I do think he's a good signing. I am not knocking this signing. My only concern was the balance of midfield. Now, what the question? Go back to your original question: where he's going to play? Look, you could have Partey, Tielemans, and then you could have Odegaard. But then, from what I'm hearing, if he's like a Bernardo Silva, you could play him as part of a wide three if you wanted to, or you could play him instead of Odegaard. If Odegaard's not cutting it, you bring him in. Don't forget, we're going to be challenging on 4 different fronts next season. So for me, strength in depth is what we've been asking for. So I am not going to knock my club for doing that. So let's see how it goes. Jury is out. Maybe there is a slight question mark with regards to physicality, but the physicality can be sorted out in the gym and the club and all of that sort of thing. So let's see what happens. But look, positive. For me, that's a 7 out of 10 signing. Yeah, because it's showing that we're looking to create more. The only question mark is to get the best out of attacking midfielders like this, you need to keep possession and win the midfield. And that's my only concern. But moving on from that, 34 million, looks like it's getting done. Arsenal aren't messing around now. We're moving. Then moving on to that, Gabriel Jesus has started to look like that's happening too. There is
Just
a bit of
before you
competition.
move on, can I say something else as well?
Yeah, you're going to want to, so just do it.
No, it's just because you said you think he's a 7 out of 10 signing, right? For me, I can't really give any rating to this signing because I don't know nothing about this guy, right? You could go to YouTube and watch one of these clips about Andres Santos and it will make him look like a world-class left back. So I don't really trust these because this is the best of a player. Remember, we signed Runarsson based on these clips and
you can't compare.
Hold on. I'm not saying this is a situation same as Runarsson. That's not what I said. I said watching these clips and making a judgment of the player is not something I'll do right now. So I'm gonna wait and see what this would unfold. It doesn't mean I'm knocking it. It doesn't mean I'm saying his shit. It doesn't mean I'm saying Arsenal are idiots. It doesn't mean I'm saying Arsenal they don't know what they're doing. This is bad. So let's get that right.
Okay, all right. And just to add a little bit extra information for you, just so you're aware, when Luis was signed for Liverpool recently, Luis done very well. Liverpool were also looking at Fabio Vieira and was going to have first option on him. They considered it very, very strongly, but it didn't happen. They sort of didn't think it was the right time, and we've jumped in. So he obviously is a quality player of sorts. Whether he's right for the Prem yet, we'll soon find out. But when I say 7 out of 10, I'm not saying I know he's going to be quality player and successful in that sense. What I'm saying is 7 out of 10 because we're going out there and we're saying, right, we need this and we need that. Right, and we're not messing around, and we're making signings. Their conviction, whether or not we know enough about the player, or whether or not they've got it right, is another matter that will come out in the wash. But some conviction and some movement is happening. I mean, there's even a hashtag going around right now on Twitter, even Arsenal, and that's because a Man United fan put out even Arsenal were signing players before us, and that started the trend. Go on.
Yeah. Can I ask something? Do you think the fact that they've gone for a 22-year-old coming from a Portuguese league is an indication of where they're going? What sort of players they're looking at for transfer window?
100%. They're looking at the younger, energetic, up-and-coming young potential world-class talent because it's very difficult to compete with the likes of Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, those type of clubs that have got, ridiculous amounts of money, or Liverpool are a bit more different in that aspect. They're a bit shrewd, and then their success has something to do with that too. However, it does show the type of players that we're going for. If you look at our squad, it's very young. I do want us to balance it out with more experience. I personally would have liked to see the likes of Xhaka and El Neni moved on and replaced with a Basuma or somebody else. That's where we were going with this, not one or the other. Very quickly, AFC Max. I think that's Australian. Is that Australian dollars, Shaheen?
Yeah, it is Australian.
AFC Max, thank you for your support, bro. Big up at Arsenal Lounge, Shaheen 11, watching from Australia. Big up down under. Finally caught a live show, and I think this signing is fantastic. He says, bit of business thing about Fabio. He could play 8, 10, right wing, left wing, need more Jesus and Tielemans close. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying there, bro, in the sense of you was asking where he could play. Now, if he's very much like a Bernardo Silva type player, you've seen Bernardo Silva. He plays out wide for Man City. He could play in the 3. So then, if you want Odegaard still to play, you can put him out wide, But then, if you want him to replace Odegaard, you can play him in that position. I think it's a shrewd signing as long as it turns out to be the talent that everyone's expecting him to be. Anyway, moving on now. Is it all right to move on, or you anything else?
Yeah, it is. No, I just hope that you're right. As I said, I'm not going to pretend that I know about this guy, and then I'm going to say, oh yeah, he's this, he's that, he's got this ability, because I don't. So I'll wait and see what is actually like.
All right. But look, we're making moves now. The next thing, Gabriel Jesus, that looks like ramping up as well. 25 years old. He's in the prime of his career. I think he's going to be an underrated signing. I think some people might underestimate his capabilities as a striker. I do think there's more to come from him. So, I think the valuation from City was around 50 mil. I think we initially went in with 30. Negotiations are still continuing. However, look, 28 starts last season, 13 goals, 12 assists. So, there is more to come from this lad, especially if he's a pivotal part as a striker and a focus, and bringing in the likes of Fabio Vieira will only help him and maybe get the best out of him, because he makes excellent little runs in behind, darting in behind. He's in the box poacher. He gets in front of defenders at last minute. I think he could be a great signing. We need to move on this quick, in my opinion, due to the fact that Chelsea are still waiting on Lukaku deal to be made with Inter Milan. So whilst that differing's going on, strike hard, strike fast, get this deal done, Arsenal. And this would excite me, this actual signing, because I think he adds a lot to our squad. Shaheen, your thoughts on Gabriel Jesus?
Yeah, I think that's a signing that I'm very happy with. Premier League player, established Premier League player, knows the league, doesn't need that settling period kind of thing, can come in and make a difference and contribute straight away. But I don't think him alone is enough, because then you're still going to be left with Nketiah as a backup. And I don't feel comfortable with it, Nketiah being a backup. I don't want to start talking about Nketiah that they must have offered him something, 100,000, must be.
Hold the Nketiah talk, because I want to come back to the Nketiah thing. But let's focus on Jesus.
I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it. I just think we need something to add to that for me to be very comfortable with going forward. Because again, he's similar to Thomas Partey kind of thing. If he gets injured, or if he goes through a bad patch, who's coming in? Or if it will happen when you're playing games and things are not really working out for you, and you need to change things, you need to try something different.
Okay.
Then we need to have a different type of player that will come in. But from Jesus' point of view, I'm very happy with this signing. I think it will be,
if it happens. It hasn't been completed yet.
Yeah, it should happen, really.
Right. Well, look, I think he would be excellent addition, 100%. Pros, looking at the pros, his work rate, his pressing, the runs in behind he makes. He's used to the style that Arteta wants to play. That's where he's come from the City sort of mindset. So I think that will work. I really do feel that, with a good person behind him to pick him out, we'll get more out of him. Perhaps the only concern for me is a bit like you, in the sense of if it's not working. And I don't want to bring the Eddie subject in just yet, but yeah, he is one particular type of striker, and I feel maybe we could do with another particular type. But for me, if we was to get him, that's an 8 out of 10 sign. You want to give me a rating on this one, bearing in mind you know the lad and you've seen him play?
If they manage to pull it off, I'll give it an 8.
Okay. All right. Good. All right.
It's a good signing, man. It's a good, solid signing.
Good. Okay. Exquisite. So we agree with something. So let us know in the chats what you think of what you're hearing out there as well. And, probably last 15, 20 minutes of this, throw some questions out at us. And, I'm sure, people want to trigger Shaheen because he's because you lot love doing that. Anyway, the next one looks like it might be happening. It looks like there's a lot of legs to it. Tielemans. That's been going for a little while now. Now, my one concern when we did sign Fabio Vieira, and this is me as an Arsenal fan with PTSD from previous windows, is, oh my God, I do hope we don't go and sign Fabio Vieira and say, that's it, we're done in midfield, let's focus on other areas. And from all other sort of accounts and journos, they're saying Tielemans still remains our primary target for central midfield, and we are still pushing at that at around the 25 mil mark in his final year. Thoughts on that, Shaheen?
Tielemans again is another player that I'm very happy that we're going to sign. Again, established Premier League player, knows the league, can come in and start contributing. I'm just like you. I'm a little bit puzzled as to where they will all fit in that midfield, because now you got Odegaard, Tielemans, Xhaka, Partey, El Neni, and Fabio Vieira. That's 6 players. Right?
Well, we wanted strength in depth, no?
Yeah, that's true. That's true as well. But I can't imagine any of these players would be content to for a role on a bench, which is a good thing, I must admit.
El Neni is.
Yeah, and then look, you need to, if I was El Neni, I wouldn't expect Thomas Partey to be dropped out and for me to play instead. But there's a lot of fixtures, and things people can play. But again, I look at this and I think, would you say Tielemans is a number 8?
Yeah, I probably would. But look. This is what I think he would want to do. If with everyone fit, it will be Partey, Tielemans, and Odegaard, or Partey, Tielemans, and if you want to play someone else in Odegaard's position, Vieira. But Partey, I think his go-to next season, I would imagine, would be Partey and Tielemans. I can't imagine him bringing in Tielemans. Xhaka, for me, I don't mind Xhaka as a backup as such. However, again, I think if you bear in mind that with these midfielders, we never finished anywhere higher than 5th, and he's been there a long time now, Granit Xhaka. For me, I thought it was time to move on from the Xhakas and El Nenis of this world. That's my opinion. I think I would have got rid of those two and added a 25 million for Basuma or someone of that ilk. Yeah, let's forget that particular name, someone of that ilk. Because my question to everyone in this chat is this. You've got Partey, Tielemans, and Odegaard, right? You've got Xhaka and El Neni in backup or on the bench. What happens if we get, I don't know, a 6-month injury to Thomas Partey? Who takes that pivot role? Let us know in the chats. I'll be very interested to hear your thoughts. But Tielemans, for me, Shaheen, I loved him when I was watching him at Leicester. I think he's dynamic. I think he's progressive. He likes to break lines, get in behind defenses, make last minute runs to the edge of the box. If the ball gets cut back and the strikers miss it, someone like Tielemans is the sort of midfielder that will be there, right? So at the end of the day, I think he would be a good signing. If you want my honest opinion, if you wanted to ask me if I had any doubts with regards to Tielemans, the only doubt I have is based around what happens if he decides one day, it's not working out for me here. Is he going to be another player that downs tools? Because he did at Leicester last season.
Yeah. Look, I don't think that I agree with you, and I hear what you're saying. Right, that one season could be a bit of an issue. I mean, is that sign of a player that if he comes in and there are certain issues and problems with down tool? I don't know. But Tielemans, prior to last season, he's been a very good player.
No, I think he's personally, I think he could be excellent.
Yeah, I've just checked something as well because Mo was here earlier in the chat and he's put it down in the chat, and I just want to check that. And apparently, about half an hour ago, there was a tweet by Fabrizio Romano, and he's confirmed that Nketiah signed a new contract.
We'll come back to Nketiah, right?
Yeah.
Right, but I already knew that. Yeah, I did know that, and I'd like to hear what everyone else's thoughts on that is. However, I don't know, and people in here saying, I think I'm not going to mention his name this time. This show, I'm not doing it. But some people are saying that Tielemans don't, cut it for them. And I think you'll be very, very surprised with Tielemans. I don't think he is average. I think he's better than average. I think he's a very, very good player. And if you want to see how good he was, not this season, last just gone, check the other season, the season prior to that. He was tremendous. He really was. I just don't think he was feeling it at Leicester for whatever reason. And, once someone's checked out, they've checked out. So we'll see. But like for me, if we were to get him 8 out of 10. But here is my issue again. Tielemans is not cover for Partey. Neither is Vieira. So again,
I think right now the only player who can cover for Partey is Elneny.
Right. And let's just say it was a 6-month injury. Would you be happy with Elneny in that pivot for 6 months? I wouldn't. Do you know what I mean? So
it's going to be a problem if Partey gets injured.
Look, end of the day, people are mentioning Lukonga. Now, don't get me wrong. I do not, have an issue with Lukonga. I think he is a future quality player. I thought he was great when he first hit the scene. I thought we were asking a lot from him. You've got to understand there's a massive difference between Belgian football and Anderlecht, where he done extremely well, to Premier League. It's not just getting used to the league itself and the tempo and the physicality. It's also a lifestyle change and all of that sort of thing. And it's very, very difficult when you're used to running midfields to suddenly come into a country where you're trying to run the midfield and you're getting outrun yourself and you're getting shut down. There was a couple of times he lost the ball in dangerous places. So Lukonga is definitely a future quality player, but I don't think it's fair to put so much on him if something was to happen as our main pivotal central midfielder at this stage. And I also don't think Elneny is good enough, and I never rated Xhaka in that particular position.
Yeah, I agree with you. And it's very peculiar as well for me. Thomas Partey, impeccable injury record. Comes to Arsenal, injury.
Well,
don't know. I don't know why.
Well, what you're saying is, my concern is this, yeah? Arsenal have historically always been very unlucky when it comes down to injuries. If you risk being paper thin in one particular area, you could be guaranteed, they put a bet on it, that area will get an injury. And it happened with us with Thomas Partey last season, and I thought we would have learned from that. It happened to us with Tierney last season, and Tavares wasn't cutting it when it came to it. So why not learn from these things? Why take risks is my question. But you know what? Again, I like the idea of Tielemans. He changes the dynamics in our midfield, and I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing him in an Arsenal shirt. So again, some people are torn on Tielemans in the chat. Anything to say?
I think Tielemans is a good signing. I think Jesus is a good signing. These are players that I'm confident will come in and they will improve us. They will make us better. I don't say the same thing about Fabio Vieira because I don't know much about the player to comment on. He may well come in and he might be better than Tielemans, but I don't know that at this present time, so I'm not going to comment on that. But those two are the players that will come in if we can get them done. Give them a full pre-season with the team. Comes first day of the season, they'll be ready, they're in the league, and automatically we will be better because we'll start the league with Jesus up front rather than Nketiah, and we'll start possibly maybe with Tielemans in midfield and Odegaard and Partey, and then that's an improvement compared to last year's midfield already.
Yeah, agreed.
So, Saliba could be back in the defense. That's again, it will be an improvement because I think Saliba is better than Ben White. So automatically, it's a better team.
You're right, and like as Sam Nicol has rightfully said as well, Tielemans for 30 million or under is a steal. It really is. It's a good. So this guy's in his prime. He's 25 years old. He's already. People were saying Tielemans hot and cold. Don't trust him. Rubbish, right? The season before, he was very, very consistent. He is a consistent performer, but when a player checks out after he's decided he's leaving, sometimes this does happen. So I rate Tielemans. He walks into that midfield for me. Like, what? Xhaka instead of Tielemans? No. Elneny instead of Tielemans? No. who's going to partner Partey for me? It's going to be Tielemans.
Yeah.
Right, so it is what it is. But look,
But
the subject gone.
Go on.
The subject that you've been obviously has been playing a lot in your mind is the other piece of news today. Eddie Nketiah getting a new deal, long-term deal at 100k a week by the looks of it. And the rumors are he's taking the legends Thierry Henry's number 14 shirt. Now, I would love to hear what people think about this. Now, this is my issue in regards to the Jesus signing, right? Jesus is one particular type of striker. For me, we needed another one, a bit like this. There was Skamaka, for example, people would say, but I'm not saying him in particular, but someone of that ilk. And before anyone starts dissing Walcott, as much as we do diss him, he scored over 100 goals for Arsenal, I think it was. So, you can't compare the two, but at this stage in particular. But for me, Jesus comes on 60, 70 minutes. He's struggling. He's not getting in behind. Maybe, it's just not his day. Or maybe the way we're playing is just not working out. Or maybe the other way around. Maybe we want to go away and we need someone to hold the ball up and lead the line and be a bit more of a physical presence. Jesus, you've got the option of putting him on one of the three out wide. You still have that option. However, if Jesus was playing up front and suddenly it's not cutting it or he gets injured or whatever, our backup again becomes Eddie Nketiah at 100k a week. The same situation in that central midfield pivot role. We go back to the original. Now, very quickly with that central midfield pivot role, that's your engine room. People think, oh, we got El Neni Xhaka. You don't replace like a Ferrari engine with a Punto one and make it think it's going to go at the same speed or have the same sort of performance levels, because it won't. So again, I don't think that fault those two as backup cut it. But then it's the same situation up front. If Jesus is the only striker we sign, and Eddie Nketiah now, as I said, if we were paying 100 grand a week, if you look back at our previous shows, I said if we're paying my man 100 grand a week, then he is backup, and that was my concern. And I think that is what's happening. I don't think another forward is coming in if we get Jesus. So how do you guys in the chat feel? And Shaheen, how do you feel in particular with having Nketiah as our number 2 striker, back up to Jesus?
Not great. Not great at all. Because, as I said, it's again one of those things that you're an injury or a poor run of form away from Nketiah coming in. The issue that I have with this Eddie Nketiah thing is everybody is going about, look, he came in 4 or 5 games and look how many goals.
I don't understand that.
But look, you don't judge a player on 4 or 5 games. It's a season, 2 seasons. Look at Eddie Nketiah over the past couple of seasons. What has he done? Not a lot. Certainly not enough to get him a 5-year contract, £100,000 a week. So
I agree.
So I think that's one thing that people need to understand. Sometimes I just feel people argue with you because they want to argue. They just want to have something different to say. But then you don't understand that if you're saying that Eddie Nketiah is good and he's going to do well, we give him chance. Maybe he will continue that form going. That tells me your knowledge of football is not that great, because this guy has been at Arsenal he's played under 2 or 3 different managers, and not under any of them he managed to get a decent run of games. And there's been times that he's come in and has been quite poor. Newcastle away, non-existent. Spurs away, non-existent. You can turn around and say Tottenham away, he didn't get service, this, that, the other. But Newcastle away, he could. I'm not saying, if you had, I don't know, a prime Thierry Henry, we would have won that game. Probably not, because he still get service. But you affect the game, in the front, in your position. So I'm not, again, Eddie Nketiah is one of those things that I would have liked, like Lacazette, for this chapter to come to an end, and he will just move on. Because now you're keeping a player that is from your past and all of this rubbish. So, yeah. And, look, listen, when you start negotiating contract with the likes of Saliba and then Saka, Martinelli, all the young ones, right? Don't turn around and tell you if Eddie Nketiah is on £100,000 a week, right? Saka should be on £200,000 a week. Martinelli should be on £200,000. Saliba should be on £200,000. So I think we scored an own goal there. with this. But
You know what? I'll have to agree with you, yeah, because the one thing that did surprise me on the timeline today, and look, we're all passionate about our club, and I had my rant with regards to Basuma because I felt for 2 years he was right for us. However, looking at this Eddie Nketiah thing, there's people that on my timeline today. Oh, what a brilliant news! What brilliant news! We've got him 100. Like he was brilliant towards the end of the season. He came so good. But like this is just a spurt of a few goals he had towards the end of the season, and then in the big games, I didn't see him. Now, don't get me wrong, you're right. Again, midfield wise, we struggled. And when you struggle, your wide players struggle if you don't get in the ball in possession, and your forwards struggle. That is very, very true. But one thing that you said, and then someone else has mentioned in the chat today, if you're going at 100 grand with someone like Eddie Nketiah, what then are you setting for the better players when they go for their contract negotiations? Because they'll go, oh, wait, Eddie Nketiah's getting 100k a week. And listen, the eye test for me with Eddie Nketiah never makes me look at him and think, oh my days, what this guy could be a world beater. I do not see what others are seeing. I hope he proves me wrong. I really, really do. But I do not see it. And personally, I'll be fine if you said, you know what, he's got potential. Let's have him as a third striker. Bring in another one. Even if you wanted to bring in someone older for a season or two, just to give us something different for Jesus. Someone tall, someone that can hold the ball up, and give Eddie another season to get himself ready. Some people will say it's to protect his value. Okay, so if we're paying this guy 100k a week to protect his value, but then he doesn't come good for us as a backup striker, or if Jesus is injured or whatever, what is the point in protecting the value of someone that doesn't add value to your squad? That is a question I'd like to know. But I just don't see it. I don't see what the big deal about Eddie Nketiah is. I haven't seen it since he come into our team, and I still haven't, I still don't see it. So I hope he proves me wrong. Thoughts, Shaheen, and thoughts in the chat? Let me know.
I agree with you, man, because Eddie Nketiah he's had chances, and as I said, he's part of a set of player that I would have liked for us to just part ways and move on. But now we've given him a big contract, and I think he's not good enough to be our second option coming up. Because listen, Eddie Nketiah and Gabriel Jesus, yeah, there's not a lot of difference in them in terms of size or in terms of what they offer, right? I would have liked to have somebody like a Giroud type that will come in. So if whatever we're doing with Jesus, if for example you play Newcastle away, right, and Newcastle, they got tall, commanding centre backs. So if you keep crossing the ball in, which we were doing that last season for no reason, Nketiah and Jesus, they're not going to get their headers on that ball. Whereas if you bring in somebody who can mix it in, who can get up and put it, challenge the defenders, maybe that would work for those type of games. So this is the only thing I'll say about that. I just don't rate Eddie Nketiah. People saying, oh, you should give him a chance, this, that, the other. He's had chances. And we're not at the stage as Arsenal Football Club to be able to afford to give players chance. We need results now. We need things today. We need somebody who come in and start scoring goals.
All right, let's have a look at some of these things in here. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. FT Music TV. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to check this channel out. Should I check it out now? I'm gonna check it out while I'm talking about him. So anyway, both these mans are waffling. Can you be a bit more specific, bro? Can you tell us what it is that we are waffling about? Because that is just so generic and could be like, what? Just because we don't agree with you, we're waffling. I don't understand. There doesn't seem to be much on this lad's FT music scene. So maybe the FT music scene ain't really blowing up for my man. But what is it, I ask, that you feel we're waffling about? At least if you're going to come with something, come with it so that we can at least comment and discuss it rather than sit there just making some random comment. So let's move on there. Some people are saying Eddie Nketiah giving a 14 shirt is like ridiculous. Some are saying, I don't know, it's loads of differing comments here, like I don't understand. I just don't understand the Eddie Nketiah love. I really, really don't. Like, compare him to others that we could have had. Oh, 100 grand a week. What other strikers could we have bought in for 100 grand a week? That's an interesting question. I bet you some teams in Italy don't play their strikers at 100 grand a week. I bet you some teams, elsewhere don't pay 100 grand a week. Portuguese leagues and, Spanish leagues and places like that. I just feel we could have got a better striker.
Yeah, not a lot.
Some interesting questions as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, I keep repeating myself. Eddie Nketiah has been here long enough, and he's worked under different managers to show what he can do, if he can do anything. And I tell people, don't miss out this point, right? That those 4 or 5, 6 games that Eddie Nketiah came in, it was a showcase performance for him to put himself on a shop window and say, look, this is what I'm capable of. Come and sign me.
And he took his time to agree the deal as well.
Exactly.
That annoys me, because at the end of the day, man, if you're a Haylender, your club has just come to you and said, oi, 100 grand a week, stay with us, and he's getting the 14 shirt. The 14 shirt. Like, anyway, moving on. Yeah. Let's see. So listen, we are happy. I'm happy. I know Shaheen's face is not showing he's happy, but trust me, he's happier.
What is the message that we're sending out by doing that? So we saying Eddie Nketiah is not good enough, right, to wear number 14 shirt, which has always been worn by great players, Thierry Henry, Aubameyang, Walcott is better than Nketiah, right? So what is the message we're giving out? £100,000 a week, iconic 14 shirt Eddie, but we're gonna keep you as third choice striker. It doesn't give that message, does it? It gives the message that you're gonna play, and you're gonna play a lot.
I just don't understand it. As Eddie Murphy would say, what have you done for me lately, Eddie? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. 100 grand. Yes, there's no fee involved, so you could offer a bit more. But like, I'd rather have, if I was struggling, if our team's struggling and we need a goal with about 15 minutes to go, I wanted something a bit more than Eddie Nketiah. Or if Jesus was getting a bit tired and he needed a rest, I would have rather had somebody else that would come, to take his place and start. That's, I think is more accomplished as a striker right now, all round. But you know what? If he bangs, he bangs. I hope he does. I hope he proves me wrong. That's another area I'm more.
I even hope that Eddie Nketiah starts scoring goals.
Yeah, if he proves me wrong, I'll be happy.
These guys to fail. It doesn't mean I hate them. I want them to fail and this and that. It doesn't mean that at all. It's just my opinion, and I don't claim to know much about football. I don't claim to be an expert on all the players, everything. It's just my opinion. I'm just giving my opinion. That's all.
Yeah, there you go. And Leeds had listen. Imagine some of our up and coming young lads right now. Leeds looked at Eddie. Bamford was in his position, and to be fair to Eddie as well, in that stint, every time he came on, he scored. Right? He is a poacher. I'm not saying he's not, but he's all-round player at top level, and I just don't know, man. I just don't see it, and I hope I look at myself in the mirror in a season's time and go, Lev, how could you not see how good Eddie Nketiah was? We'll revisit that at some point. So look, we're coming up to about 15 minutes remaining, so I want to start looking at some questions very quickly. Start getting those questions in, and we'll go through them. A few other things we've been hearing about: left back Hickey. We've been linked with him a few times now. We do need cover potentially if Tavares maybe might be going out on loan after having a bit of a dodge season with us. I still think there's a player in Tavares. He's more of a wing back though, so if he's not good enough, then let's move on from him and bring in somebody like Hickey. By all accounts, he could be the next sort of Tierney, less injury prone. Let's see. I'll give that 6.5 out of 10. In regards to rumours at the moment, we don't know. And the other one, which I think is extremely unlikely, Nkunku from RB Leipzig. He is touted to be a big player, a winger. I just don't see it now that we've got Vieira in, because he could play out wide and he can play in the 10. I don't see Arsenal doing it. If they do it, great. Just don't see it. They're touting at 100 mil. So let's have a look at the questions in the chat. I'm sure there'll be some interesting ones for Shaheen. Let's go. NST Norman Bates. Interesting name. Psycho, I guess. Question. Gnabry or Jesus? Jesus.
Nabry.
Nabry's not a striker, though, is he? So I don't understand that question, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Nabry can't play wide, but Jesus can. But Jesus is a striker. Nabry is just a winger. So if you want a striker, Nabry will probably be useless. So I don't know. I don't know, man. If you want a striker, Jesus. If you want a winger,
Do you want to
then
start?
Nabry.
Do you want to start going through questions from the top?
Go on, you do it. You do it. You pick them.
Go on.
Rick says Eddie is simply not good enough and never will be championship level striker. That is not a question, but that's a comment. Fair enough. Sean C, who sometimes we do disagree. Levin Shaheen, I predict Eddie could possibly get past 15 goal mark. Your thoughts, chaps? Do you know what? That's an interesting little bet I could do with somebody. However, Shaheen's going to say no. So at the end of the day, I'll have to find
You
somebody.
still haven't paid up on your last bet, bro.
It's not about paying up. You mans just don't want to go anywhere because you can't make
No,
it because of the truth.
you,
Like,
you
can we have
lost
this?
£20
Can we have
bet
this?
with me for Aubameyang.
Can we have this domestic offline, please? Yeah.
No,
Just carry on with the show. It's bad enough you was late for the show, and now you're sitting here chatting breeze about stuff.
We'll do it
People
later.
no,
Right,
anyway,
okay.
yeah. I want to
Go on.
find somebody that is Eddie fan that we have on our shows to have a little bet with him about that. Thank you for that idea, Sean C. Pepper says, if you see me doing this or that, it's because my camera's right in front of me. Do you not think Eddie will get Eddie somewhere else the way he finished? What does that mean? Do you not think Eddie will get Eddie somewhere else? Does that even make any sense?
Do you not think Eddie will get Eddie
somewhere else?
Do you want to rephrase that and then we'll put
Yeah.
on?
Ashton 14. Interesting that 14's come up, bearing in mind Nketiah's shirt number. Who should be captain next season at Arsenal? Asked Ashton. Shaheen.
Not Odegaard.
He didn't ask who shouldn't be. He asked who should be. Why are you so like...
Odegaard.
Yeah, I'm feeling this neg vibe from you right now. I'm not feeling any positivity from you. I'm not feeling...
No, I'm cool, man. I'm just waiting here, watching how things are unfolding, and then I'll have my
playing
opinion.
it cool, playing it cool.
I don't know. Next season, the candidates for me, I think the obvious one would be Kieran Tierney, but he's injured for a while. Maybe Gabriel.
Okay, Gabriel. Okay,
that's one thing about this team. You see, apart from that, there's not many obvious. I mean, look, Granit Xhaka is a leader, and he is a captain material.
Do you think it would do Thomas Partey good to have the armband?
I don't think so. I don't see Thomas Partey that kind of player.
Fair dues. Okay, so Gabriel is your pick. Probably Gabriel or
Tierney, Gabriel.
Tierney was always injured, didn't he? So we don't, Next, thank you for that, Ashton. Mugambo. Question: will ESR leave Arsenal after this Vieira signing? I see him wasted on wings as a sub. We could no, I don't see him going anywhere. If Arsenal are, look at it this way: if Arsenal are desperate to keep hold of Nketiah, they should be doubly, triply desperate to keep hold of Emil Smith-Rowe, because I'm telling you, that kid is gonna be something else if given the chance. And again, he could play out wide and he can play in the 10. Why would we get rid of him? I definitely not. He's not going anywhere. I think Arsenal rate him highly. Rohan Shah. If Partey gets injured, we will go back to Xhaka and Tielemans. Should we look for one more midfielder? I mean, I don't know if you've been watching the show, Rohan, for the last week or two. 100% we need cover for Partey. Will we get it? No. And then I just hope we don't come back to bite us in the ass. Pepper, do you think Eddie will get that money somewhere else the way he finished the season? I do. Potentially so, and maybe we should have cashed in.
No, I don't think so.
Well, we couldn't because he lost. He was out of contract,
wasn't he? Europe will pay
nah,
that sort of
not that sort of money. No,
I don't think the likes of Palace or West Ham will pay him that sort of money either.
Okay, Sam Nicol, which realistic striker or forward would you bring in along with Jesus? Look, yeah, I like the look of him. I do like the look of him. I think he's the type of player we need, but also it's highly unlikely that we would get somebody of a top ilk now that if we're going to get Jesus, it would have to be someone at that 30-40 million bracket, and Scamacca's the one probably. What fee is acceptable to send Pepe on? 25?
Yeah.
I don't want us to lose 50 mil on him, but that's what I see him at the max.
I don't see anybody coming in and paying that sort of money for it.
Next one. What fee? No, well, we've done that one. Next one.
1 second. 1 second.
Why'd you give me the same one, bro?
No, that's not. Oh, actually, it is a question.
I think he's asking you that question.
I don't know. I don't know who is asking that question, but
It's DJ Rooster, I think it isn't it? Rooster?
Ross Tyler.
There's another name for Rooster. Ross Taylor. Question. Do you believe we will bring in another striker as Jesus can play wide forward? Ross, we've been saying this, bro. I think we should. Do I think we're gonna? No. Norman, I'm calling him this time. Who is the better signing, Basuma Spurs or Fabio Arsenal? Two different players, man. Come on. One's a pivot in central midfield, like a DM. The other's an attacking midfielder. So you can't compare the two. So I can't really answer that question. Bendeng Longkuma. Isn't Nketiah going through some physical training? Arteta might actually have some plan for him. Well, isn't that what footballers do every week? Physical training. It's like, I don't know. Trusay. Question. Do Arsenal still need a goal scorer midfielder? Maddison. Nah. Not if we get Tielemans in, who is meant to be that type of goal scoring box to box midfielder, and then we've got an attacking midfielder. Where does Maddison fit? He won't. Matthew D'Souza, thank you for your question, bro. Eddie, for 100k a week or someone that is 25 to 35% better would cost at least 25 million left. Where do we find someone better but affordable? Bro, I hear what you're saying, but then at the same time, this is top level sport. This is the Premier League. Your striker is meant to be top level if you're a top 5 or 6 club, right? Your central midfielder is meant to be top level, and your central defender has to be top level. In fact, everyone should be top level, but your spine has to have severe quality, and that is.
Can I just add something to that? I don't think Arsenal are in a position to talk about money and saving this and that. When you, as a club, start writing off players' contract or let players walk away for free that you purchase for 50 million, 60 million, 40 million, and just happy to see them walk away for free, you shouldn't talk about finances and this player 20% cheaper, 20% there. No. It's not one way or the other, you know. You can't pick and choose what you like to save on, but what you're happy to write off.
Write off ridiculous amounts of money. That is very true, Shaheen.
Listen, Mustafi, Ozil, Aubameyang, Socrates, Lacazette, Sanchez. These six alone, is above 200 million pounds that we have written off. So we paid 200 million pounds. That's zero. Come back,
and then you're going to bulk on getting a quality striker for maybe an extra 25.
Exactly, and I'm not counting their salaries. Yeah. You know, so we've done all of that, and now we're saying, but you know, we need to be very careful. We need to start saving now. We need to pay cheaper for that. No, you can't act that way and then come and say, we're looking to save, we're looking to all of that.
Good point. All right, Amaf, thank you for your question. He asked, Saliba White Gabriel. I know my answer is the first one. Yours, Shaheen.
Yeah, Saliba or Gabriel.
Saliba is a ball-playing centre back with class, elegance, but he's also fast as well and all of that. And I think he's a bit more than what White is. So then the physicality of Gabriel behind him would suit. But then look at what we're getting now, though. If Saliba gets injured, you got White. If White gets injured, you got Saliba. So that's one area you could say we've actually now got some decent cover. And Kit Tuwari, do you think we should keep Torreira for this season? Amount offered is 7 to 8 million. So will it be better to keep him until his contract expires? Will be a good cover for. Listen, he would potentially be the only proper DM cover we have for Partey, right? An actual one if Partey gets injured. However, that's touched the nerve for me. These Italian clubs at the moment at Serie A are taking the liberties with Arsenal right now. Not only were we trying to get Vlahovic from them, okay, the player has choice. You can't knock them for that. He's gone to Juve for 70. So you say you've sold Vlahovic for 70 million and then sit there, use a player for the season with an obligation to buy or option to buy. In this case, it wasn't an obligation. And then it's valued at 15 million, you agree, and then try to cheap it at the end. Nah, man. Latest to that. But
do you know why?
Not a bad little shout out, Kit, for a little stop
cover for the season. We've let them. You know, the way we've acted in transfer window when it comes to selling players.
Yeah.
What? we've been really poor, and people look at it and they'll be like, oh, you know what? Let us dig our heel in a little bit with Arsenal. Maybe we can get them to do this or do that. We can maybe get them to write off players.
Hey, listen, there's apparently there's a Portuguese lad in our chat group, yeah? Stevie Best Ferreira. I'm gonna bring this up. Yeah. So Stevie Best Ferreira says, I'm Portuguese and Fabio is a huge talent, superb player, biggest talent since João Felix. Ooh, João Felix. Well, let's hope. I mean, I have heard that. I've heard he's meant to be the next big sort of thing coming out of Portugal. So if that's the case and it's proven right, then well done, Arsenal. We'll see.
Yeah, exactly.
Any others?
We want him to do well.
Of course we do, man. There you go. Any more? Get some more. We've got.
There's quite a few, but we've been doing this.
Man, we got 5. Stop being a grump, man. We got 5 minutes to go. See through the hour.
Go on, you put some that you.
All right, Shaheen. You just do whatever you're gonna do. Doodle and all that stuff. Right. Ross Taylor asks, if Saliba, Saka, and Martinelli don't sign new contracts this summer, would you sell them? Otherwise, Arsenal lose all power, get decent money for them. No, I wouldn't sell any of those 3. None of them. None of those 3. Like, no chance. I think Arsenal need to sit down and do a deal. Listen, how are you sitting there getting Andy Nketiah up on a new deal and leave those 3? No chance. Those 3 have to be signed up. Sean just says, get the likes up, guys. Thank you, bro. Get the likes up. How many likes have we got, Shaheen? We've got 270 people in here at the moment.
Got 72 likes.
So 200 of you just freeloading, yeah? Thanks. Really nice. I've taken an hour out of my day to sit here with you guys, and 200 of you can't even be bothered to click a button. Come on, man. Do us a favor. Anyway, any more? Sean C asks, are you excited? At the moment, no, Sean. I hope that answers your question. DJ Ruska, I'm going to say his name. You guys don't have a clue what's happening in our club. Did we say we did? Guy's a bit weird. I'm not going to lie. Who else? Oh, one for you, Shaheen. Shaheen, what Arteta needs to archive next season for you to call for his head? So basically, what
he needs to
achieve next season for you not to call for his head? There you go. So basically, what does he have to do to get you off his case? Is basically what he's asking.
Well, first of all, he needs to qualify in top 4. That's a minimum. That is acceptable. Second of all, it's how we compete throughout the season. Consistency, right? Because we can't be going on 4 or 5 games, difficult games even, right? And then perform well, get a draw, win, and then start playing shit against some lesser teams, poor teams. Just like we beat Chelsea away, perform well Man United away, perform well against Man City, and then Brighton at home, we lose. Southampton away, we lose. So consistency from Arteta, I'd like to see. And he needs to finish in top 4. And I expect... Listen, realistically, depending on the signings, right, I expect them maybe to even win the Europa League.
Okay, Matthew D'Souza's got a question. Here we go. Why are Arsenal fans that have never watched 90 minutes performance by Saliba viewing him as the Matthew D'Souza, how do you know whether or not I have, or Shaheen has, or any other fan has watched 90 minutes of Saliba? I guess, unlike the other players that have just come in, like the Fabio Vieiras of this world, Saliba has been someone that's been on our minds and in our heads for the last, 2 seasons? We've all been asking, what the hell's going on? You spend 27 million on some superstar defender and then put him out on loan while you keep holding Chambers in your defence. So, of course, we've watched him. And I'll tell you this much, one thing I do certainly know, he's better than Holding and he's better than Chambers. So what's your point? Here we go. Rufina or Osimhen asks Gunnar Greg. I like Rafinha, by the way. I'll
say Rafinha because I think he's a good player. And again, is Premier League proven, Premier League established.
Rafinha is somebody that can seriously do damage when running at players. He's almost a little bit like a Zaha, but Zaha's stronger, I think. I still wish we had signed Zaha instead of Pepe, and I don't think we would have had this issue having to get rid of Pepe right now. But there you go. I think is that about it, Shaheen? We're coming up to the hour mark.
I need to get my
all right.
as well.
Oh, sorry to have kept you, Shaheen. I really am. Shaheen's done us all a favor and he's come for the show today. But I'll tell you this much, yeah. The one thing we can say about us and this channel is we want the best for our club. We do not get any satisfaction, unlike some channels, of being proven right. If we feel that we're, leaving the team a little bit sort of weak in certain areas, don't want to be proven right. Don't like being proven right in any of these types of aspects. I want my team to prove me wrong. If Eddie scores loads of goals, happy days. If Partey goes a whole season uninjured, and if required, El Neni comes in or Xhaka comes in and does a decent job, happy days. But personally, I think a whole season with that level of pivot after Partey is a concern. However, what I do like is our club is now showing some ambition and going out there and getting it done. Whether we agree with all the signings or not is another matter. However, we're out there doing bits, and that is better than what was going on a couple of days ago. I know some people said the window's only just open, but if you want to look at the news, Arsenal's pre-season starts earlier this season than it has done before. And that to me means you need to get your players in early and gel them in before the season starts. We always start every season not ready. We always start every season with certain players not fit to start. There's certain players that we've been playing all through the summer as well in that Nations Cup thing, which was, I don't know what that was all about. So we need to get things moving early. We need to be ready, and we need to not throw away points early this season. So long may it continue. I hope these 3 deals that we've spoken about, the main ones, happen. I do think we might need the left back cover if Tavares is gone. But look, let's keep it going. Let's keep an eye on the news. We're going to keep an eye on it. If anything else worth mentioning, we'll be here. So that's about it. We have got shows pending as well next week. We are still looking to do this financial show with the Cronkies and break it down between Mike and Mo. It was very difficult to pin them down last week due to everyone's personal commitments. So keep an eye on that. We've got other shows in the pipeline as well, and potentially one that you guys always love. We're trying to nail him down to see if we can get any more ideas and what's going on in this transfer window. Anything else you want to add, Shaheen, before we go?
No, just thank you to everybody who watched us, and hit the like and subscribe.
Thank you for hitting the likes. Even you, DJ Ruska, I hate you as well. Right from the bottom of here, I'm only kidding, by the way. We may differ, but we are all Arsenal fans. I've got love for all of you. We have a bit of banter every now and then, and we disagree every now and then. But we are the Arsenal Lounge. You are the Arsenal. Peace out. Have a great weekend. Enjoy that sun and relax.